Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Xinfin, aka XDC. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask you guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. And also, if you do find any of the information valuable, useful, or interesting in this video, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, as that also does help the channel, and I do greatly appreciate that as well. And you guys never miss a future update that way as well. So let's actually talk about XDC. So we've been discussing a lot about these assets, specifically on their main use cases, on what we're pretty much focusing on, and pretty much why we will see XDC or many of our altcoin holdings at some higher figures. Now, I just want to say I am recording this video a little bit earlier. It is scheduled for later, but we're going to be talking about specifically what we want to focus on, and that is the overall summer price action. So specifically around these points down here at about almost 5 cents, that's what we're watching for. If we break those levels, it's time to get very bearish, and that's when we start to kind of, I would say leverage a little bit out. But of course, it's not financial advice. You guys could HODL if you want. I'm just saying, if we do break these structures down here, it's going to get fairly rough very fast. But I do believe that we will see one major impulse on Bitcoin to the upside, and then it will be followed by a corrective state down again. Overall, this could be pretty rough for all of our altcoin holdings. You got to remember that once Bitcoin dominance is around like the 41.5 to 42 mark, while it continues to ride up, that is not good for our altcoin holdings at all, even if Bitcoin does go up or down, because a lot of altcoins will not follow it to the upside. They will only follow it to the downside. So please just be aware of that. I'm not too bullish on the micro viewpoints. On the macro viewpoints, I'm still fine. I'm not too concerned at all. And the question in the room is definitely, will Bitcoin recover? I mean, in my opinion, I do believe that we will. But let's talk about some interesting things within, the Xinfin network. So first off, let's talk about TradeTech. So as you guys are probably all aware, I've talked to you guys a lot about TradeTech in the past. I think it's one of the most incredible use cases on Xinfin. We're actually going to be talking about a few other use cases, but specifically, I'm going to make a spotlight on TradeTech in general. So TradeTech Connect is now a new trade risk distribution channel for Commerce Bank, aka, and also Texel. Now, we do see here that this is going to be, we see TradeTech, the leading technology provider for bank asset distribution, together with these banks, has announced that following a successful proof of concept phase, TradeTech Connect, an expansion of the firm's existing platform to supporting distributing bank risk resulting from trade products such as letters of credit and guarantees, has been implemented by Commerce Bank AG, aka, and Texel Group, and shall become the new technology standard for trade asset distribution. The reason why I bring this up is because, first off, actually, real quick, before I continue, let's go over this. So trade finance player TradeTech Inc.'s deal with Microsoft. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because in this article, we actually see down here, TradeTech Connect runs on Microsoft Azure's cloud, the world's leading cloud platform. They give institutions the same security, privacy, and compliance protections used by global banks and 95% of Fortune 500 companies by holding data in their own dedicated TradeTech pod. Located in one of these 61 regions globally, TradeTech Connect users can meet even the most demanding data compliance, and resiliency requirements. So the reason why I bring this up is because this kind of solidifies the idea on how big TradeTech actually is for Xinfin. We know Xinfin is focused on that trade finance gap, the $15 trillion gap. I just want you all to understand that, we have not seen full-on adoption just yet of this type of technology. Once that is in place, don't take my word for it. Take Andre Kasserman's word for it. For an example, worked at Swift for 24 years. He sees where tokenization, he sees where a lot of these markets are going. He understands the use for something like this, streamlining the process and the workflows of overall, the trade finance area, but also, tokenizing something that was never tokenized for ease of transactions, ease of transparency. That is huge. This solidifies where Xinfin is kind of positioned in the trade finance area. And of course, we do see TradeTech partners with Xinfin in the first trade finance NFT transaction. Reason why I bring this back up again is because when we're talking about all of the major connections here, like when we're talking about these huge banks, they are going to be utilizing NFT sort of technology, tokenization in general, to do a lot of their future overall business deals, their future business in general. That's what I'm watching for. That's what I'm waiting for. I just think that this is so huge. I think that when we're talking about the scale for Xinfin, when we're talking about the scale for a lot of these use cases, it truly is endless. We don't know where, tokenization can really lead to. We know that a lot of things like stocks and bonds, real estate, even cars, I mean, we're seeing almost anything being able to be tokenized. I've always said that tokenization is going to take over on a global scale and most likely will bleed into everyday life. We're pretty much seeing that happen right now. And of course, in terms of trade tech's overall use cases and stuff, here's trading automation, right? Built for bank asset distribution. They're talking about, whether it is financial institutional risk distribution from bank to bank, from banks to insurance companies, or the purchase of large receivables portfolios by an institutional investor. Trade tech empowers market participants to increase deal flow, seamlessly collaborate, and unlock liquidity in the multi-trillion-dollar trade finance market. Trade tech is probably, like I said, one of the biggest use cases on Xinfin. Say goodbye to spreadsheets, get real-time insights, share seamlessly, build your own private network, distribute, with confidence as well. Like, there's so much within this. Like, this is just one of, their technologies. Like, there's repackaging, there's, even analytics. They also have other products, like, for example, Trade Tech Connect, right? Streamlining financial institutional risk and core trade distribution. This is also a very big benefit for a lot of these huge individuals, right? Network as a service, trade analytics, track negotiation, document automation, reporting automation, transaction management, limit management. This is huge for a lot of those big players that are in the financial institutional space. And this is just one. There's trade tech, access. There's even trade tech distribution or distribute in general. Like, this is huge. And they are providing a ton of benefits for a lot of these big players. Of course, you could read all about this, and you could pretty much read where they're really kind of disrupting overall, which we've gone over multiple times. You could just go to the homepage, and you could pretty much see that, the $15 trillion trade finance market, which is a huge market for them to disrupt, but they're not going to do it alone. They're going to need partners like, for example, the TFD Initiative, the ITFA, the IBM. And of course, I know that Xinfin's not mentioned here, but when we're talking about the Trade Finance Distribution Initiative, we know that Xinfin is playing a huge key role in that. We've gone over that multiple times, and even talking about, this, or I actually just got rid of it, but the NFT transaction that Xinfin did with Trade Tech just pretty much, kind of told us, hey, this is going to be huge for Xinfin. This is why I think that when we're talking about a lot of the institutional players that are behind Xinfin overall, it's going to get very interesting very fast. We also seen here Xinfin unveils blockchain-powered trade Phoenix platform with India's Asocom. I hope that I'm saying that right. Now, this is a network of 300 plus trade associations and 450,000 members to minimize inefficiencies. This goes back to 2018. Again, I talked to you guys about Trade Phoenix before in the past, but again, when we're talking about all of the use cases that Xinfin really has, it's no surprise to me that this is going to be a huge asset. When we're talking about the trade finance, market, it is a huge market for them to disrupt. I know it's a $15 trillion market. It's not as big as, like, for example, the cross-border global trade market when we're talking about, like, cross-border payments being, like, $155 trillion. But it's the idea that this is going to enable so much utility and so much volume and value to be flowing over the Xinfin network. This is why I say when, like, we're talking about, XDC at 6 cents, I'm not saying jump in and buy right now. No, absolutely not. Like, right now is the time to kind of sit back a little bit, de-risk yourself, and really kind of watch and play, a little bit of a sort of patience game to see how low we can actually go. But when we're talking about this asset at around these prices, like, it's actually pretty crazy. Even if we're going back, just year to date, or not year to date, all time, sorry, and we go back to just 2021 alone, like, some of these prices were absolutely ridiculous when you're thinking about the scale of this. When we're talking about a lot of these laggard assets, I do believe that XDC is playing the role of XRP almost in 2017 and 2018 before it did a massive parabolic run. And of course, we also look at Ramco Systems, right? Ramco Systems and Xinfin joined forces in Singapore to develop hybrid blockchain solution for enterprises. Best part about this is you might not know who Ramco is, but Ramco is actually a huge name. Let's actually go check them out, right? So first off, Let's go over, I think it's on, not this slide, but I believe it's on the first slide. All right, here we go. Aviation software for civil and defense, powering 4,000 plus aircrafts, and also, it kind of scrolled too fast, 24,000 plus users globally. This is huge. Okay, this is a very large name, company, trusted by 1,000 plus customers across 35 countries. Some of these names you might not know, but some of them you do, like Coca-Cola. We all know Coca-Cola. Standard Chartered, we've heard about Standard Chartered many times. Honeywell as well. Like, that's a huge name. A lot of these names you probably heard of, a lot of them you probably haven't, but again, 1,000 plus customers, 35 plus countries, 28 global offices, and 1,900 plus employees. This is huge. Okay? So when we're talking about some of these, connections that, Xinfin is making here, I mean, it's truly something to really watch for. We even see here, global enterprise software specialist, Ramco Systems, and Singapore-based open source blockchain developer Xinfin will use the latter's proprietary XDC01 distributed ledger protocol to build new architecture based on Ramco's software solutions for the three sectors and help provide blockchain-led solutions to Ramco's global enterprise clients. Almost all of the clients that Ramco has are going to be utilizing Xinfin technology. That is crazy. That is what we want to see. Partnerships that lead to thousands of overall connections. I mean, even if you look at just their corporate overview, I believe that this was the, yeah, so here you guys have it. In terms of their corporate overview, so 1997, it's established. 150,000 plus users, $89.90 million total income, which is whatever. It's nothing too crazy. 28 global offices, 1,000 plus customers, total revenue $84.92 million, 35 plus countries present in, 1,900 plus employees. I mean, this is a huge in terms of their applications. So here's their enterprise applications as well. But this is a huge connection. I've always said when we're talking about this technology, when it gets mass adopted, it's not going to be mass adopted one by one by one by one. It's going to be mass adopted by thousands at a time in a simultaneous overall partnership. This is what we want to see. This is what we are, really kind of focused on in terms of how many connections that Xinfin will build out in just one single partnership alone. So we look at some of the utility on Xinfin, and we really kind of scroll through here, and they are building out some incredible use cases with a lot of banks, it's all kind of centered around trade finance as well and banking. But for the most part, there's so much still left to look forward to with Xinfin. I'm just excited to be holding something like this as early as I am. I know a lot of people kind of say, oh yeah, we're like very early, but then all of a sudden like people are like, well, no, you're technically not, because we're going to go lower in prices. But it doesn't matter how low the price goes, as long as you believe in the fundamentals and the technology behind it and know where it's going to go in a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years. As long as you have a vision, as long as you have a plan, that's really all that matters. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.